Alright, brother, you're gonna set the ramp lane at the shoulder. Alright, so in a second when I get the word, we'll pick up. I'm gonna have y'all go back to All Trash Boulevard and flip and wait on that ramp for 95 southbound. I'm gonna go dump, then I'll meet y'all over there.
This seems to be the morning sweepers on the interstate. They started about half an hour or so ago, I think. Maybe 40 minutes ago. 151.625 megahertz. Should be business itinerant channel number 1 for Motorola. Probably a XTS and some of the other portables, mobiles. Picking them up on the RadioShack's Pro-2052, the Pro-2053. Huh, interesting enough. Didn't realize those are so close in model numbers. And the Pro-96 up there, no, Pro-93 on the rack that the camera's facing. It's not very clear. I apologize about that. I put them numerically in order on that particular handheld. So it's definitely memory bank 0, channel number 1 in that bank. And they've been, for the most part, very clear to hear in Chaco Valley. It's right across the interstate from the hospital. So basically, I'm downtown. Seems like the guy in charge is the only one that talks. And the guys that follow him around, they'll talk on a rare occasion. But he's pretty much guiding what's going on as far as sweeping the shoulders and changing lanes and doing all the ramp work and whatnot. And this seems to be every day before morning traffic starts about 5 o'clock. And they're usually done about 5 o'clock anyways. And it would seem to be also the same crew that you might see on the morning news doing their traffic report. And they're the ones that are just clearing up before the 5 o'clock hour. There's always some sort of shoulder work. They always say, oh, they're just cleaning up the shoulder work here. They're getting ready to shut down right before traffic time. Seems to be these guys, this crew. And they're pretty quick. It takes about 2 hours or less for them to do their little sweep job and get the shoulders and the lanes cleared from, I guess, overnight traffic. We've had some rain for the past couple of days. Just a little in the evenings. Probably enough to stir up the oils on the asphalt and spread around the sand or whatever dust collects, whatever debris is out there. Minor accidents, as little parts and pieces of modern cars left everywhere. get all the crap up so that people can go to work every day. Got to put the city back to work every day. Got to pay those taxes, y'all. Of course, there were some truck drivers in the background on Channel 19. They were close by, too. Sure, we'll hold these guys again another 5 minutes or so. I think they started down around, well, they may have started as far as Cabernet and Arthur Ashe and worked their way down I-95 down to probably Bells Road again. Turned around and came back. They still got plenty of time to do all this work. It's only a few miles, I guess, in this little interchange area, or between interchanges, between Interstate 64 and, let's say, Interstate 85. I know 195. I think we're well inside the boundaries of I-295. So let's just say between Chamberlain or Arthur Ashe all the way down to Bells Road and back. At least that's what they did yesterday. Not a whole lot of traffic on this channel this time of day, but it's usually this crew, which I find interesting. It's not on some kind of city system I've discussed with a friend before. They're not using anything digital. It's all analog, old analog technology. I'm not even sure if it's a city organization's doing this, or state for that matter. It could be a private contractor. And it's just sweepers and probably a small number of trucks with arrows, flashing arrows, be it on the trucks themselves, like a vdot truck, or towing one of those self-powered trailers with the flashing arrows. Not too long ago, they were having a brief discussion about how people don't notice the flashing arrows, or they ignore them, or don't know what they're for. I think that was the way it was said, but sometimes a little interesting conversation. Sometimes. Again, the frequency is 151.625 megahertz. Sounds like the railroad's a little bit busy too, or at least there's a train on its way. One or more of these Pro 2006 will act a little goofy because the railroad, some railroad system out there, right outside, and AM or Amtrak Junction, right here at Brown Street and 16th, Oliver Hill Way, will be triggered either intrasystem, or because the train itself. Likely because the train's coming through at some point in another block. And the default detectors activate or pre-activate. It's a little early. Won't be long. One or two CSX will come through with freight. Then Amtrak will back in. At least one of those trains will back in from one of the yards down to Main Street Station. And they'll load up and start their journey off to the northeast. I think the Palmetto actually comes in from Norfolk or Virginia Beach. And they'll come in forwards, of course, through their route and their stops. I never do really take the time to see if Google Maps shows a slowdown in this particular area during this time of day. It probably won't show it because of lack of traffic anyways, but I suppose if it senses those vehicles on the shoulder and their slow movements, that might indicate slow movement on the interstate, giving a false report for slow traffic. Or it could be just as helpful. I mean, if it shows up as slow traffic and somebody rolls through, it might be indicative to them to slow down a little bit as well. Then it affects the whole system all over again. Slow traffic, back up, dead still traffic, whatever it shows. Again, I haven't investigated that just for kicks and giggles. But I wouldn't doubt that it happens, though. That'll mess up all the Teslas and all the other fancy pseudo self-driving vehicles. And of course, all the truck drivers that have their Qualcomm and optoelectronics and whatever e-log apps they carry that those systems seem to affect. Thank you. Very well done, did it? All this maintenance. You get fingerprints everywhere when I maintain these things and all these touch screens and whatnot. Get your greasy hamburger fingers all over everything, and gotta blow your nose once in a while. You gotta take care of stuff like that. Don't stare at stuff, care of stuff. It's the only way to do it. And then these aren't perfect anyways, these little butt wipes that I use that put a little bit of their own dust or whatever. Not really dust, but not really sure what you call them. Fibers. You can wipe those clean with tissue of some sort. As they are wet, just dry them off. Let's see if we can make this device charge in the meantime. Nope, it's not going to be that one. Garbage. I should have known better than that. It's a different connector altogether. That's all right. I have the appropriate connector on the desk. Right in front of my face. How could I forget? Always time for maintenance, study, research. Trying to get some of these things done as the world passes you by on the outside. Sit here on the shoulder and do nothing. Should be plugged in. Let's wait a few more minutes here. Again, I apologize for the fuzzy image. Probably not lit very well. That might be one thing. We'll try that, see if it helps. Yeah, it's a little better. And the reason why it's on the rack is because it's held to a little higher standard. The rack that the camera phone is on is tilted backward a bit so that, it's not in a cradle. It's just standing on a twin device. All it is just a manipulated book stand. And it just stands there. So they both do their thing. There's a BP8H that holds the weight down of this. Keeps it from falling forward on its face. Helps it do its job. It's just one of these. Typical replacement battery for a Realistic or RadioShack HTX 202 or 404. That one. There's 4 that drops right into the ICOM BC 30, 35. It's labeled. It's a drop-in charger, so similar tech. Noisy chargers. All right, nothing else is going on. Dadgummit.